Okay, this one might be a little bit shorter, but welcome back to 5-Minute Bible Study. Okie dokie. I'll read the verses. There's only 3, 4. When Jesus came into Peter's house, he saw Peter's mother-in-law lying in bed with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she got up and began to wait on him. When evening came, many who were demon-possessed were brought to him, and he drove out the spirits with a word and healed all the sick. This was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah, now quoting Isaiah. He took up our infirmities and carried our diseases. So first of all, when Jesus came into Peter's house, he saw. And so I'd written down here, Jesus came and Jesus saw. We don't have to wonder if he sees our struggles, if he sees our needs. We don't have to do anything dramatic to get his attention. Jesus comes to us and Jesus sees what we're living with. And I noted here that Peter lived with his mother-in-law. So perhaps this is why he answered Jesus' request to follow him so quickly, because it got him out of the home of his mother-in-law. But anywho, let's move on from that. That's just speculation. Then it says that Jesus touched and he healed her. And she didn't need to beg. And again, by this point now, I take the healings as for granted. But it is amazing that he could heal. And then what I like was that after she was healed, she got up and she started serving him. And I can only think she did that out of gratitude. If Jesus came and healed you of something that you had been begging him to take away, and he's in your presence and does it, would you not want to shower him with gratitude for rescuing you? And I just feel like that's what this woman would have done. And that should be our response, to get up and to serve him out of gratitude, not obligation. If it's obligation, it's going to get boring real fast. And it's going to feel like he's just a boss ordering us around, because it's just a task to be done. But if it is out of gratitude, man, that's just a way of life. And then it said that when evening came, many who were demon-possessed, blah, 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 blah. And at the time I wondered, why evening? Was it for the darkness to hide them a bit so that others wouldn't see them or judge them? Because I'm sure these people were picked on or ridiculed or told they were unworthy. But it said that many came and many were healed. The sick and the damaged, they looked for him. They sought him out. They weren't intimidated by him. They were intimidated by everybody else. But they tried to push past their fear of everybody else to get to Jesus, because they weren't afraid of Jesus. They weren't turned away from him like everybody else turned them away. And then it says that with a word they were healed. Here's a thought. I wonder what the word was. It literally says, with a word. Wonder what Jesus would say. That's just total random curiosity. And then in verse 17, Matthew wraps it up, basically saying that all this happened. I've told it short, I've told it precisely, just to get the facts out, because I just wanted to tell you that another prophecy in the Old Testament got fulfilled. Check it off. Jesus did another thing God said he would do. God stuck to his word again. He fulfilled it, and he proved that that prophecy was true. And in that prophecy, it says he took up our infirmities and carried our diseases. He took up our pain and illness and weakness and sin, and he carried them. Maybe that's why he wasn't afraid of lepers, or he wasn't afraid to touch people. At some point, he was going to have to carry it. At some point, he was going to have to touch it anyways. And he wasn't afraid of them, and he's not afraid to carry mine or to carry yours. I like this God that I'm finding. He's a lot less judgmental and scary than the one I grew up with. Anywho, subscribe.